Aloha and welcome, Ambassador Kaythi Soe from Myanmar. You are one of our distinguished alumni and you attended our Comprehensive Security Responses to Terrorism course a couple of years ago. It was really wonderful to have you. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you while you're based in Prague as Myanmar's ambassador. You are one of the very few female diplomats in Myanmar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs to have accomplished so much. You're amongst a very few women who have reached the rank of an ambassador. Very well done. Please tell us about your journey. Tell us about your experience, how you got there.
To brief you my journey in the diplomatic life, it is quite unbelievable. The life of a diplomat was not my childhood dream. My father is a civil engineer. My mother is a housewife. Our family is not familiar with the diplomatic life. Even my father, he has never been abroad. I was born in Yangon, but I was brought up in the rural area, region, not in the capital. At the age of 13, I had the chance to accompany my parents. My father visited Yangon, and his colleague is near the Bagu Club. You know Bagu Club. It is quite close to our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I noticed a red, beautiful colonial building. And they explained me about it. It is the office of the General Aung San, our national hero. And spontaneously, I stated that, one day I wish to work at that office. But I don't think I really meant it at that time, because I don't understand the callings of the diplomatic career. It's a wishful thinking of a teenage girl. Then I graduated from Mandalay University, and at that time it's under the socialist government. It is very difficult to get a job, permanent job. So I work as the temporary teacher in the villages, and it is also a challenge for me. I'm a fresh graduate. I don't have teaching experience, and I have to teach in the high school students. More or less, I'm a little bit senior to them, not quite age difference. So it's a challenge for me. But within a few months, we get along very well, and I'm happy in the rural life, and they are also happy with me. So, and then after 1 or 2 years, my father got transferred to Yangon, and it is also very significant for me, because moving back to Yangon gave me the chance to join the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. At that time, I'm preparing for the officer exam, while part-time working at the library of the Ministry of Construction. So I try to sit for the exam. And then one day there was an announcement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the new recruits. And I decided that was my destiny. So I tried my best, and then I got it. The rest, it's not the difficult one. So after that, I continue to walk on that street, and after 30 years of services, I reached this position. There are very difficult moments in my service. Sometimes it is difficult to represent the government, the country, and sometimes working mother is also a challenge, especially in the diplomatic field. We have to live far away from the home country, in different culture. So many challenges. There are many times I was almost to to decide to quit my job. But I could not, and I did not. So I'm still continuing my destiny.
Wonderful, wonderful, Your Excellency. I'm fascinated by your story. Tell us, during this process, what areas did you or attributes did you work on so you could get as far as you did?
I'm the eldest in my family, so naturally I need to lead my brothers and sisters when we were young. And my first job is a teacher, so I need to lead the students. Even if not lead it, I need to guide them to the right direction. So I'm interested in it. But sometimes it is difficult to say there is the difference between leader and the followers, and what are the things we need for a leader. Because in my career, I have both ends of the leadership courses. I attend several courses on leadership, and sometimes I also give lectures about leadership. And what I wonder is, there are many things, many attributes, many approaches for the leadership. I think we just define the leadership as a very good thing, very smart, wise people's judgment. They need visions, some very good attributes. We put it that way. But when we think about it, not all the leaders are such qualified with good qualities. There are also leaders with not qualified up to the attributes we teach in the classroom, we teach in the training courses. So sometimes I just wonder whether those attributes can be with the leader or its individual traits.
How did they select you? Because in many societies where the security sector institutions, ministries, civilian agencies, if they are predominantly composed of men, it's very difficult for women to compete because sometimes they think women cannot do the job as well. So what made you stand out for them?
In our traditional Buddhist belief, everything happened has a reason. So when I got this job, I think there must be a reason behind it. Not only one reason, there must be many reasons, because that can lead to that. But I don't think that's what I got for my attempt. That's what I got for my achievement, because there are also people who are as much working hard like me, who study like me, because I don't have the foreign degrees. But I study in my own country, in our universities. My environment, I am a complete product of my country. I have to be proud of it. So I cannot compete with other very distinguished universities graduate, but I'm not feeling inferiority about that, because when we have appointed as to lead a mission, it is nothing to do with it is not only your achievement, your attempt, it also coincides so many things. But in fact, I think I myself don't believe to distinguish the leaders and followers, leadership and the mentor and the disciple. I don't feel I'm comfortable with that, because now I'm heading a mission. I am the highest position in the civil servant, but I don't feel I am a leader now. because sometimes I lead, sometimes I'm a follower. For example, as a head of mission, I employ a chauffeur. I'm his boss. But when I want to travel to the destination, I cannot lead him in every detail. I cannot dictate him which lane he chooses because it's up to him. I have to follow his leads. I take relax and I have to follow his leads. And another thing, I'm not much familiar with technical things. So we have technician on computer. I employ him, but I have to listen to him when I use the new appliance. But that's why I don't see the way there is, for example, it's like we are humans, not like bees. Bees, you can distinguish worker bees and queen bees. And queen bees, her job is different things. Worker bees, they need to work. Humans are not like this. And we also need it in modern day, our job also calls for such kind of understanding. We cannot be expert in every field. We have to rely on different things. Maybe in one task, I will lead and I have to work more. But in another task, I will have just to watch and coordinate with the role actors. My role as a leader will be just coordinating things. Sometimes I will need to have my own effort. That depends on each and individual's ability and capacity. So we cannot assume that I'm the leader, I can decide everything. I know more than you. I know, no. We may come across sometimes quite young, but he or she may be more educated, more knowledge on certain subjects. That's nothing to do with the leadership. Leadership, a leader must to take the responsibility for the decision. And the other things, they coordinate. So I think the role of the leader is nothing much different with the follower. We have to play our role. Sometimes I have to lead, and sometimes I need to follow the lead, and sometimes I need to coordinate those people. That's my belief in leadership.
That's very, very well articulated, Your Excellency. Listening to you, I can tell that you're very humble and you provide a clear vision to your team and you trust them to do their job. You're absolutely right. The leader is not supposed to be an expert at everything. And good leaders make good followers as well. So that's an excellent point. Thank you for raising all of these points. Very, very thoughtful indeed. Now, let me ask you, do you think as a woman, do you think you lead differently than men as an ambassador? You think? Do you bring something to the table which perhaps men don't? Not to say that you're better than them, but are there some skills or perspectives or knowledge that you bring to the table that sometimes men may not have?
I really like this question because it's I'm always thinking about it. Of course, there is difference between men and women. We are quite different in physically and mentally. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So we have difference. But when you become a leader, you don't need to think about gender. He or she herself also forget about the gender. Maybe you will not agree because you have to work for the women, but I think a leader cannot be a good leader if he or she focus too much on the gender. Because when we become a leader, we have to decide for all the team. There will be men and there will be women. We cannot favor, I'm the woman leader, so I will favor the woman. That does not work. I am the man, so if I favor the man, it doesn't work. So we have to be clear from the gender discrimination. When we talk about women discrimination, discrimination against women, we also have to think discrimination against men. We don't need to form up the gang against each other, because the society needs both men and women. And I think when we become a leader, you are responsible for the society. Sometimes you have to work for the betterment of the men, and sometimes a young boy. That will be different from the girl's need. Of course, right now, majority are men in the leadership role. That's why we have to encourage the woman. We have to empower the woman. We have to work for the woman to have the equal chance. But it does not necessarily mean that when there is a two-person, for example, but the man is more suitable for the job, for the leadership, let it be. We cannot choose the woman because he is a woman. We should consider we have not leave her out because of woman. If she is suitable, if she is to be a leader, we have to accept it. There are certain men who does not think women can do things like them. But it is not true. We have to prove it. Women can also do things with the help of technology. Now women can think a lot of professions. In the past, women cannot be a bus driver. But here, many women, they can do the job.
Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Thank you for sharing your insights. So
I would also like to add two more things.
yes,
That is maybe when you consider women have the weakness, if you give the equal chance, women can also compete with the men. And there are also some positive side of the woman. The nature, we have men and women. Only men will not be complete, and only women cannot be complete. So we need to coordinate, and we need to understand each other. The leadership attributes are nothing to do with sex. Even the LGBT can be a leader. In Europe, there are many leaders.
that's right. Excellent points. Excellent points. Your Excellency, please tell me a little bit about the role of women in Myanmar's transition to democracy.
As I told you earlier, society has men and women. Women also has to take their share in the society. In the past, women cannot contribute much because there is a glass ceiling. Sometimes people think that this job is not suitable for the woman. It is not only the government policy. Society also thinks that such kind of job is not good for women, not good for my daughter. My daughter should not work like that. So we have to improve our perspectives on gender, and we have to let them do. For example, at home, I have one daughter and one son. I also let my son do the household chore because it is also part of the life. If he stay alone, or if if he is married, he needs to share the household burden, household chores. And I also let my daughter go freely, but within the limits of the society. I want to have them equal chance. If a girl has a certain exposure and the engagement with the outside world, he can contribute more to the society. I think the woman's role in our country is very encouraging. If you let them lead or let them work in the profession, within short period of time, they're quite improving. And if you know our NGOs and civil societies, there are many women who have been in leading role in economy, tourism, even in the research, and even on the security sector, they also have more women.
What can be done to make the security sector more gender inclusive in Myanmar? If you were to think about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, if you were given the chance, what do you think could be done to make it more gender balanced?
To tell you the truth, you will be surprised. When we joined Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that's 30 years ago, women are minority. Out of 25, only 7 are women. That's my time. That's the time when we joined the Foreign Ministry. But now women are majority. We have a last recruit, it is about 51 people. I think only 7 are men. So we need more gender balance. We need more men in our ministry in the future.
That's wonderful.
More will come, because when we join the ministry, women are minority. And there is also ceiling, because in the past, ambassador posts are only for political decision makers, so it's not from our career. Many of our colleagues who are senior to us, who are eligible to be ambassador, but they didn't have the chance. That depends on the system and not the qualification, and not the men and women. At the time also, many of the ladies, they don't want to join the service. And even though they join, sometimes they gave up. As I told you, I'm also almost decided to quit the job, because the pressure with the family and living abroad, living at home, it's not the easy one. It's always difficult. For example, during my first assignment in Paris, to call back home with telephone is also very expensive. At that time, we don't have internet call, not Messenger, not Viber. So it is very difficult. But with the technology, we can communicate more frequently. Now my family is back in Yangon, but we can communicate every day. So that's also encourage women more to join our service. In the past, many of our colleagues, they have to give up the job for the family.
Yes, of course. So now they're not doing that because it's much.
Yes, that's why now our ministry has been thinking of gender balance, because we need equal men in our ministry for the future. Right now, in the new recruit, I think 3 or 4 recruits, women are majority. So in the next recruit, there will be gender balance. So men will have the more chance to be part of our team.
Very interesting what you're telling me, because in the Indo-Pacific, I know that there are a number of countries where there are more women in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs than there are men. It's true of Sri Lanka. I believe that there are also a lot of women, I don't know if they're in majority, in Vietnam, in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yes,
It,
yes. Now, many of the ministry, foreign ministry, they have come across this problem.
this
More women, more, yes, we can say it. Sometimes it's problem because we need gender balance.
Yes, that's right. Why is it that more women are opting to become diplomats? It requires a lot of, it requires excellent negotiation skills. And women
Maybe,
have soft power. I would
maybe one of the reasons, in our country, many of the men, they rather prefer active duty or more business. Diplomat is the very prestigious job, diplomatic life, but we cannot be rich. If you want to be rich, you have to do business. So I think as a man, they rather prefer to be the successful businessman rather than the diplomats, successful diplomats, if he or she does not have such kind of childhood dream or aspiration.
That's wonderful, wonderful. You know, especially when you started out, women were not in a majority. There were few women in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What do you think you did that made others listen to you? Because certainly they were paying a lot of attention to you and what you had to say. For you to have advanced at a time when there were only a few women in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
I think in our tradition, we don't have not so much look down on women, because throughout the history we have many accomplished women. So I don't feel women's voice are not listened. That's the only thing we need is we have to offer more opportunities for women to work. For example, I don't think the role of the woman in the family is less important than in the profession. I never feel that my life as a diplomat is more important than my role as a mother. I always appreciate the mother's role in the family, because if necessary, I will decide to give up my profession and I want to be mother. But if I can be both mother and a diplomat, I will maintain it. That's why when the children are young, women needs to be assisted by the society. Our society, we have a very close family. Some people, we can get the assistance easily, and sometimes it's a relative, grandparents, aunts. They will take care of the young children. It also helps women to continue the career. And when the woman works, I think they are dedicated to their work. I think that's true. That's why in our country, women get the job more easier than the men, because they are more dedicated. They don't spend much, they don't waste time much, for example, going to tea shop and speaking on phone like that. So they have more dedication to work, and they become expert in certain fields. So when you can express yourself useful in the society, in the work, your voice will be heard. You don't nothing special. You have dedication to your work, and you when you have certain level, certain experience, and when people know your value, your voice will be heard. But when for the ladies, they need education in the younger age, and when they're married, after marriage, they need time for the family. They need time for their children. The society needs to support. The society has to facilitate that period. It's very short time. That's why right now my children, they grown up. They don't want to stay with me any longer. So I have more time to contribute to my work, and it's fine now. But when they were young, it's very difficult time. We have to support in that period.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. Women do require a lot of support. If they're working, institutions need to have family-friendly policies.
Yes, that is very important. And by letting women contribute much to the society, it is very useful. I give you the example. Right now, our country, you know, the health care system in our country, we have very fragile system. Our healthcare system cannot cover the whole population. We have 51 million. But with the COVID-19, we can make efforts to protect our people very effectively. Only more than 330 positive cases and only 6 casualties. But government take extreme measures for the protection. And maybe we can say that they put priority for the human security rather than the economy. I think it is the decision of the woman-led government who put priority for the human security. When the pandemic starts, people are panicked and they are reluctant to receive back the returnees from the other countries. For example, we have to, most of the cases are imported. The people, Myanmar people walking abroad, they come back and they have the disease and it spreads. But state councillor, she can communicate with people through social media and she can come down, she can reduce the negative of the people and make them secure, make them feel secure and do the necessary things. I think it's a maternal instinct. He communicates with the people and he shows us kindness, and the people realize that in time of crisis, we have to take care of each other and we feel safe.
That's wonderful. Beautifully said. I really enjoyed listening to your perspective, Ambassador Kaythi Soe. Thank you so much for joining us today in this session on Women, Peace and Security, Conversations with Thought Leaders, hosted by the Daniel K. Inouye Asia-Pacific Center for Security Studies. Thank you.